Alright, so I've now gone ahead and double crowned my Verissa here. That's not Verissa. I have a feeling that I might have said the wrong name. This is Ineffa. She is double crowned. We're gonna see what kind of damage she does. Now, one thing I'm very curious to see on this video is how does Fiorina work if she's given Nilou's weapon? Because Nilou's weapon, combined with Fiorina, will give both Nevi, Ineffa, and Fiorina over 100 elemental mastery each. So that should, in theory, massively increase the damage that Ineffa's, damage is doing. I'm not going to entertain the idea that Ineffa here is what she's going to look like in a singular update, because I really am expecting this character to get a new artifact set, and I'm also expecting Flin's, the Electro character, to maybe be in 6.0, and if he's in 6.0, oh boy, we're going to see probably an insane Electrocharge DPS, and guess who's giving Flin's 40% damage bonus on his Electrocharge damage? Yeah, that's going to be great. So let's go ahead and let's start this rotation off here. Now, we're going to look at it normally, right? This is normal, you know, everything. We'll go ahead, grab that, and then obviously we'll prop that. And then we'll have a Q that does 65,000 damage. And then we see 20,000, 40,000 there. Now, apparently the way that it works is that every single character's, like, crit stat. Okay, well, that's not fun. All right, well, yeah, he's shaking his butt. But apparently literally every single character's crit stat. I was quitting so many times, bro. I was about to crash out if it didn't quit. You guys saw that button was just spammed with just yellow, 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 and it would not quit out. I was genuinely going to crash out so hard. So looking at this team from someone who may only have a C0 Nevi, I mean, it genuinely is very good. But back to what I was saying, apparently Lunar Charge has like a weird thing where it sort of crits on everyone. So like Nevi's crit rate, right? It's 51% right now, but it goes up to 80%. So you crit on Nevi for Lunar Charge, but you could also miss crits and not miss crits on, you know, Ineffa herself. So you want high crit rate on both of these characters, and also Fiorina, who only has 62%. So yeah, it depends if Fiorina's even doing them. Because honestly, once I'm using Nevi on field, I think he's doing all of them. And then obviously, you know, the crit damage matters a lot. So let's go ahead. We're now going to go ahead and give Nilou's weapon to, you know, this character. And I mean, I'm expecting us to do insane. It's just simply insane. Because we're going to test out in a minute though, Kazuha. And Kazuha, he's C2. And he's going to give Ineffa 200 elemental mastery. And that's going to be just utterly insane, right? So let's go ahead. 7,000 damage there. And then another 60,000 damage there. 45,000. 35,000. All right. Sweet. And then we have this. 44,000. 45,000. I mean, yeah, we see a nice little, like, 3,000 damage increase here. It's not bad. 35,000, right? And then we'll have this, and then we would do more, right? Because apparently his rotations are this long, and that's sort of how you would do his rotations. Really strong. Really, 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 really strong character overall. There's just not really much to hate on this character. Because, I mean, we're seeing her do damage. And I'm not going to keep saying, like, oh, and, you know, 6.0. But even right now, she seems very good. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to really crank it up. We're going to have a 200 elemental mastery buff from Kazuha here for Nevi. And that's going to do a lot of damage. Now, it also increases Kazuha's elemental mastery, which I don't know how much that's going to matter. But let's get over and started with this. Now, the damage bonus doesn't affect this, so I haven't been worried about that. We are really just looking for, you know, things. All right. C2 Kazuha is in full effect. We are now seeing, what is the numbers? Come on, give me the numbers. 45. Come on, get better numbers than this. Come on, I know you can do it, right? Really? Really, no better numbers than this. Interesting. I honestly thought we would see better. I feel like that was kind of a fluke. Hold on. Maybe it was a fluke and I need to, you know, restart this or something, right? Let's go ahead. I'll restart this. We'll redo everything because we should not be hitting the same with 200 extra elemental mastery. Like, it just shouldn't happen. It is interesting, though. Ineffa is a character who generates particles like this. Yeah, dude. Flin's is going to be her. Yeah. So the easiest way to see how, like, Ineffa is going to be built as, like, a real support character for a DPS that's going to be her same type, it is legitimately just go ahead and look at the way that she generates particles, it is exactly how Emily, how Fiorina, and how now Ineffa generate particles. When these characters are slated to be support characters for DPSs that are the same element as them, they typically generate one particle every time they hit over time, right? And that gives characters like Nevi a really high ER advantage. And honestly, yeah, it just does. So let's go ahead. I do want to make sure, like, is there a reason? Because does this activate all field? I don't think it does. Okay, so we are looking a little bit. So that's one hit. And then, yeah, we're going to let it hit him a little bit there. And then there we go. So we have the buffs. 30,000 we saw there. Let's go ahead, get this, and let's see. Did we see 60? 53, nice. 52. I hate that Nevi's burst is so long, bro, because it really does obstruct a lot of the damage, I feel like, because you can see we're hitting 2 back-to-back very consistently. Generally, when we do one hit from Nevi's burst, it's like, oh yeah, or not Nevi's burst, but when we do one hit from Ineffa's E-skill, right? It's like, generally, it's like, oh, one hit followed right up by it. So every single time Ineffa is ticking, she's doing like 50,000 damage easily. And I mean, with those buffs active, I mean, we're talking about Ineffa doing, you know, 100,000 damage per tick. And if she's doing that, all she has to do is do 6 ticks. And she's at 600,000 damage, which I would consider acceptable, right? And that's just acceptable. But we're not even considering the fact that she's also giving Nevi a shield. Haven't mentioned this, right? Nevi so far has not been interrupted because he has a shield. Normally, he does not have that. Now, we're going to try another team with, you know, this, and we're going to see how this works. Because I don't think I've tried this team with Fiorina. I think I tried it with Shieldon because it just buffed Nevi more. We will try this with Shieldon, but I do want to just try it with a, you know, C2 Mavwika. Mavwika does, I have already seen, and very much so, it's clear to me. It's very clear to me, by the way, that defense does, you know, affect the lunar charge damage. If you lower the opponent's defense, it will do more damage. So, yeah, I'm going to wait for all my buffs to go away, and then we're going to run into it, and we're going to see what we look like. The only, I guess, yeah, we do have to point out, in a lot of these teams that I'm running, I am not concerning myself with a healer. We're really just trying to see what Ineffa can do, because, again, I just don't think that this character is even near complete. I think this character in, like, you know, an update is literally about to get completely changed, and there's going to be no way to recognize. So, again, 40,000 damage there, and then we'll go ahead, pop that. 500,000 damage is too low. That was not a vape. And then 35,000 damage on top of that. I mean, we're looking at pretty good. I mean, this 35,000, 36,000 without any extra buffs, right? There's no, like, proper Ineffa buffs going on here, right? Other than the Mavwika 20% defense decrease, right? There's no other buffs going on, right? So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab Shieldon for the team because that is a proper healer, although we do kind of lose the reason why we would run a healer because, I mean, yeah, this is just not really a thing. But yeah, I think Nevi, if I'm being entirely honest, I think that it's very plausible that Columbina is actually a, you know, Hydro DPS because if we think about it, we have now an Electro Charge support, and if Ineffa, like, if she's a Hydro DPS, and she's not limited to one reaction, and Ineffa can actually be very good for her, we're talking about, like, possibly, like, the best DPS Archon for her region since Raiden. Like, or even Raiden didn't work that well with her region, but overall, you know, I mean, well, I guess, you know, Mavwika, she doesn't really work with, like, all of her characters, right? She's a support, right? And that's when, you know, a lot of her characters become good. Whereas, if you become a DPS and you can actively use all of your supports and it's not just one singular support, that is a pretty strong ability. And if they decide to go that route with Columbina, I am very interested in seeing how she's going to function. So let's go ahead and do this. We have our shield here. And yeah, we do lose out. Maybe it was a vape. But yeah, 40,000 damage there. 42,000 damage. Yeah, it's just, we see a very standard, because Nevi generally here is triggering the reactions. Like, he's the guy who's triggering the reactions. And we're seeing a very standard, like, 40,000 damage extra. Oh, so he actually went outside of the cloud's radius. That's interesting. So he went outside of the cloud. All right. So I think for the final bit here, I'm actually going to take them into Abyss, and we're going to see what it looks like. Because, I mean, it's possible. I want to see what they look like. We're not going to go to Stygian. Here we go. Let's go ahead and see how well we can do here. Should be pretty nice. And we see 18,000 damage and honestly 20,000 damage. Not that much. Like that's like that shouldn't be what we actually end up doing. I think this guy just has high resistance, like as you can see. Yeah, right now it's kind of just hard to actually even try and test. Maybe did Stygian refresh? If it did, then I'm not going to do it because I want to do that on video. But if it didn't reset, okay, it'll... Oh, wait. No. It's just not here at all. Is it just not here at all? Dang it. It's just not here at all. Okay, yeah. So, you can't really test them right now. It kind of sucks. Wish we could, but... I am very confident that Ineffa is going to grow into being a good character, and I don't think that she's going to be a character who is like Emily, who has, you know, a very easy option on her team, right? I don't think so, because we're not looking at a situation where someone can properly just take the place in the team and do better, because this character is just buffing the team. She's doing her own damage, which is very competitive, because let's look at, you know, Mavuika on this team, for example, right? My Mavuika, she can do a decent amount of damage, right? She can, right? If I were to get rid of Ineffa here, and you know, that's what we'll do. I'll showcase my Mavuika. Now, this is C2 Mavuika, obviously, so yeah, be a little, you know, not so harsh on Ineffa for doing less, because I guarantee she's going to do less. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and show off, you know, the normal Nevi team, and I'm going to show what that sort of looked like beforehand and how Mavuika did a lot of damage off field. Like, we're talking 100k E-skills. Like, she's doing a lot of stuff. Now, you don't have to get rid of Nevi for that, right? You don't. Oh, right, wait. Did I do a team where Nevi was just unable to get stacks? I think I might have. I was too busy just trying to showcase Ineffa. Well, this isn't actually what I want to do. Hold on. I don't normally have the key on Fiorina, so I want to make sure we don't have that on her, because I don't. It was nice to see what Ineffa would do with the key, but I don't think it's worth it here. So let's go ahead and let's see what we can do. So, doing all of this really quickly, go into Shilonen, and we might have just messed that up. No, 700,000, yeah. You can see 700,000, and then 100,000, and 100,000. And 30,000, right? And again, 100,000, right? So she just did a million damage just like that off field, right? Or, you know, off field, on field, whatever. She did that. Ineffa's not doing that. And Ineffa's not giving 40% damage bonus to Nevi. But what she is doing is providing Lunar Charge Reaction, which is damage. And, you know, from what I've done, I've calculated the Lunar Charge Reaction damage to be like at, you know, almost 700,000 at the best. Or it's not even just the Lunar Charge. We're talking about her Q skill damage too here. We're talking about a lot of things here. She's very strong. I think this character is like super high potential, and I am very confident, I would say, after using her and stuff, that she is going to fulfill that potential, and she will see that potential be fulfilled, whether it be through Flin, whether it be through the Archon, because let's be honest here. All right, let's look at the team, right? Let's look at the team. Simply put, all right, so let's say Flin is the DPS, because I think he will be. So Flin's a DPS, right? Then we'll have Ineffa. So Ineffa will be on the team, and she'll be doing stuff. So then we have Ineffa. So we have Flin, Ineffa, then Columbina, then probably a character who is like Shilonen, who kind of buffs everything, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the team. And what does that leave us with? An entirely new team that can only exist in the future updates, and Ineffa just does not have it right now. Before we saw with, you know, Kinich, it was a nearly entirely new team, but the issue with Kinich is he doesn't have, like, Mavuika's not hugely going ooga boonga insane comparatively to Shangling or Toma, right? Like, she can do stuff, right? She can do damage. She could be very good. She's very usable. However, she is the best in slot option. However, when you look at her and you compare her to someone like Shangling on this team, there's not really that much effectiveness because she is built around Vaporize and Melt, and she is unable to do either of those on this team. And then we also have Bennett, who is already a staple. So we had nearly half of the team, basically, with, Emily already. It was just Bennett, Xiangling, and then Emily. And then we needed a main DPS. Now, the main DPS, they could be as strong as they want, but if Emily isn't going to be buffing them, then there's no point in running this character, and you can just run... What you can do is you can run Furina, Bennett, Xiangling, and then a DPS, right? And that would have been mostly what we would have gotten out of the Kinich team because, this is just such a good combo. If we would have put Xiangling here, right? This alone in 4.0 was an insane combo, and that's just what left us to have Furina be such a close match with Emily on the burn team. It just was not worth it. It's a very hard equation to honestly work out because I feel like it's, I see very good potential in this character because she is actually buffing the new main DPS, meaning the new main DPS is going to look at her and be like, thank you for the buffs. Whereas, Kinich, he did nothing. He stood there and he worked alongside Emily, and there was no, communication between them. They were just dead silent, killing the enemies together, and they didn't even talk to each other once, right? There's not even a chance of that happening with Ineffa, because Ineffa is buffing Electro Charge so much. So yeah. That's just my thoughts on it right now. I think Ineffa is very good. I can't consider her Miss Coffee level or, who was the last character that I did? Oh yeah, it was Skirk. It was Skirk, obviously, duh. So yeah, Skirk and Miss Coffee got the, great title that, I have not given to Emily or Ineffa. I keep saying Emily. But I've not given to, Ineffa because she just doesn't deserve that because there is nothing about this character that is, super huge and a must-have. That is the issue. However, I do think she is going to be impactful, and I think she is going to be very, very strong on her teams in the future, and I think she will set herself apart from characters like Mavwika and characters like Furina, who, the characters like that. I mean, I imagine she will absolutely be setting herself apart. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.